What's up, man? I want to talk about Dominic Breazeale versus Deontay Wilder. I really don't have a breakdown. My thing is this: I believe Deontay Wilder will win the fight. I don't think this fight is going to go the distance. I believe if Wilder win or if Breazeale win, it's going to be by knockout. But I kind of caution and hope that Deontay Wilder does not take that whole animosity of what happened in that hotel lobby in Alabama to the ring, and all that animosity and get out of his game plan like he did against Fury. Now, he admitted against Fury that he did go away from the game plan, and he had a lot of respect for Fury in that build up. They had some animosity here and there, but they both had a mutual respect for each other. Now, he doesn't have any respect for Dominic Breazeale as far as what they went through in that hotel lobby. Now, it's a lot of things that was said that happened there. I wasn't there. I don't have a comment on it because I don't know. It's hearsay. Wilder has his side of what happened. Dominic Breazeale has his side of what happened, and the truth is always somewhere in the middle. And I don't know what happened. There's people out there that's taking sides and saying, well, they think, they believe that Wilder, all what Wilder says happened. And a lot of people, some people saying that what Breazeale said happened. Y'all wasn't there. None of us was there. You can say that you talked to people that was there. Yeah, you're going to talk to people. Now, you have to talk to some neutral people that was actually there, like some bystanders, because there was a lot of bystanders there. I seen some of the tape. I seen like about what? It was like 15, 20 seconds of the tape. You really couldn't really see a whole lot. I did see Breazeale, and I seen Wilder brother kind of by each other, kind of a little bit. You can see a little bit, but you can't really hear what was really said unless it's a better tape out there with better footage. Other than that, I didn't see it. Now, unless you have somebody that was neutral to the whole process and you interviewed them and you talked to them and you asked them what happened, maybe they can tell you the truth. But from Wilder's camp and Breazeale camp, they all gonna have their person's back, and they're gonna all tell the story that's gonna shine a light, that's gonna look better for each side. So like I said, I have no comment on that. My thing is this: Wilder has to go in there, follow the game plan, use his jab, because if Wilder uses jab, the man is dangerous when he uses his jab. He has to use his jab and not go in there and just try to throw power shots on top of power shots. Now, Anthony Joshua has already fought Breazeale. He knocked Breazeale out in 7 rounds. Now, it's a lot of reporters asking Deontay Wilder, are you going to try to knock him out, sooner than Joshua knocked him out? Now, I liked his answer. He said, no, I'm going to go in there. I'm not fighting against, I'm not going to try to compete with what Joshua did against him. I'm going to go in there and fight my fight. And if the knockout happens sooner, it happens sooner. If it happened later, it happened later. That's a good point for him to say that, because you don't want to go in there and try to press. Now it's round 5 and you looking up like, man, I got to knock him out sooner than Joshua knocked him out. Now that's for Wilder. For the fans out there, y'all, now Breazeale is his mandatory. So I'm not going to say he picked to fight Joshua's leftovers, because it is his mandatory. So I'm giving him that. It is his mandatory, so it's nothing you really can do about that. If it just so happen to be Joshua leftovers, it's Joshua leftovers. But for the fans out there, you're gonna have some hypocrites out there. Now, if Deontay Wilder get in here and don't knock Breazeale out sooner than Joshua knocked him out, it's gonna be people out there say, well, I don't care that he didn't knock him out. But you know how people try to do this whole, my fighter fought that fighter and beat your fighter better. Because I distinctly remember when Thurman fought Bondu, and he didn't knock Bondu out, but Spence knocked Bondu out. Everybody gives Spence this high praise because he knocked Bondu out. You know what I'm saying? So what if Breazeale get in there and they go all 12 rounds? And Wilder wins a decision. Even if he wins a unanimous decision or split decision. You're not going to hear people say, well, people going to talk about how tough they thought, how more tougher of a fighter they didn't think Breazeale was. Oh man, he was tougher than what I really thought he was. So you're gonna get that. I mean, you get a whole lot of hypocrites out here, man, that just if it doesn't fit their narrative or things of that nature, they're gonna go with what they want to go with. That's fine, man. It's a lot of people that are inconsistent. I mean, we all contradict ourselves to a certain degree, but it's just some people that just outright contradictory. Now, Wilder did say he wanted a body on this record. Now, he did an interview with Radio Raheem. I just watched it. Radio Raheem was telling him, with that power that you have, of your, what I'm saying, with your stance and you being a heavyweight champion, and he was explaining to him like Breazeale never held the belt, so he don't have the same, power as you. And even though Breazeale held the title, he didn't have any influence that you seem to have. And he was telling Wilder, like, in so many words, that saying that you want to kill the man was irresponsible. Now, my take is this. I agree with Radio Raheem in this sense. Wilder has to understand what power comes greater responsibility. Now, Wilder said, what if Breazeale would have said it? It doesn't make it right that Breazeale says it. Just because he don't have the power I have, it doesn't make it right for him to say it. Deontay Wilder is 100% correct, but it's a but. Dominic Breazeale on a level. Dominic Breazeale doesn't have the power of the masses as Deontay Wilder does. And although it's not right for Dominic Breazeale to say it either, Deontay Wilder has to understand that when you have certain powers, it comes with certain responsibilities. So, and Deontay Wilder also said, hey, he's a king, he's a leader, he's a trendsetter. And if you're going to, you can't, if I'm not saying nobody is better than no one as far as a human. I'm saying if your stands in your power and you embrace the power that you have, you can't then say, well, if a person that doesn't have power like me, if they say it, that doesn't make it right either, so I should be able to say it. Then it's no distinction between y'all two. Then it's no, either you want to embrace the power that you have, or either you don't want to embrace it. You know what I'm saying? It's to that level. It's like the president of the United States. It's like people don't like what Trump says when he says, all this crazy outlandish things. And it's the same thing with President Trump. He has to understand that he has a certain power. He has a certain bully pulpit. His words, what he said, spread across the landscape far greater than a lot of people, a lot of the quote unquote normal human beings, in America, not only in America, on earth. You know what I'm saying? So when he says things that are inappropriate, it's looked at and magnified 10 times more than a person that doesn't have his power or his bully pulpit. So you have to be responsible in the words you say. That's all Radio Raheem was trying to get through Wilder. And I believe Wilder understand what he was saying. You know what I'm saying? But Wilder is still relatively a young man. I know he's 32, 33, but that's still relatively young in life. You know what I'm saying? As a boxer, that's not young. But in life, he's still a relatively young man, and he's learning. And I like Wilder, man. I like that Wilder. He seems to be a real genuine person. You know what I'm saying? The man seemed to be really genuine, and I like the fact that he's trying to, fight the best. You know what I'm saying? His first 30-something fights, 35, 36, 37 fights, he was relatively fighting lower competition, but it's due to him having a late start in boxing. He didn't have a really big amateur background. He was able to win the bronze at the Olympics, which was a minor miracle right there, winning bronze at the Olympics. He was the only one in 2008 that medaled. You had Gary Russell Jr. and them. I think Gary Russell Jr. couldn't fight because he was sick or something. You had Demetrius Andrade. You had a lot of fighters that fought, a lot of decorated fighters that fought in the Olympics. I believe Sean Porter. You had a lot of decorated amateurs that fought that didn't even medal and had more experience than him. So, like I said, I like Wilder. I just hope he goes in there. I hope the man just uses his jab like he did in that Bermane Stavern 1 fight. He used his jab beautifully, fought behind the jab, good movement, good head movement. Ever since then, Wilder jab output and his accuracy and using his jab has went down since the Bermane-Stiverne fight. Now, people, overlooked it because he was still knocking people out. You know what I'm saying? I was looking at it from a different point of view. I always pointed out, ever since that Bermane-Stiverne fight, I always tell people, look, yes, he's still knocking people out, but he's not fighting behind his power. He's letting his power fight in front of him. That's why that's why he was getting in some of these fights, and he was behind in some of these fights. He was behind versus Ortiz. He was behind against another guy that he came back and knocked out. He was behind against Tyson Fury, which I thought he lost the fight. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's due to him trying to force things. If he goes in there and fights behind his power, Deontay Wilder, yes, he does. Yes, he's not technically sound as a lot of fighters. You know what I'm saying? In the past, a lot of heavyweight fighters in the past, like your Ali's, and people look at Tyson like Tyson was just a knockout artist. Tyson was so technically sound, it wasn't even funny. The man was technically. Now he started going away from his technical abilities after he lost Customato, and and he started going down, started having a lot of success, and just wasn't doing the things he was supposed to do. But Tyson was very technically sound. Tyson is a better fighter than Deontay Wilder overall, in my opinion, with power, with the same concussion power that Wilder has, but he was way more technically sound. But yeah, man, I got Wilder winning the fight by knockout, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Breazeale go in there and fight an inspired fight. Because one thing about Breazeale that I'm looking at, he doesn't look rattled at all. He doesn't look scared. He doesn't look nervous. He did fight Joshua. I think he went to the UK and fought Joshua. So he's not a so-called relatively new person when it comes to this big stage. He's been on the big stage before. He said he learned a lot from fighting Joshua. You can learn a lot from a loss. You know what I'm saying? You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot from a win, but you can also learn a lot from a loss. He said he learned a lot. He went to the drawing board. He also started boxing late because he was a football player in college, so he started late. So a lot of these guys that started late, like him and Wilder, they may have more to come. You know what I'm saying? We don't know how much Breazeale has grown since that Joshua fight mentally, which is very important, and also technically. If he did, you know what I'm saying, if he's a better fighter than Joshua in that fight, some people say he gave Joshua some problems. I ain't really see the fight. I didn't go back and look at the fight. I should have. I probably will go back and look at the fight before this fight come on tonight. But, I seen Breazeale last fight against that one guy he knocked out when Wilder was there. So we'll see, man. I wouldn't be surprised if Breazeale upset Wilder, because this is a heavyweight division. Breazeale is a big boy. He came in at 250. Wilder came in at 221. I think 8-9 pounds heavier than he was against Fury. It was reports out there that he said he wanted to get up to 240. I always said that was a mistake. He shouldn't go up to no 240. Wilder is a lean guy by nature. To put all that weight on him, and he's gonna be so top heavy. He's already top heavy. He got really skinny legs. To put all that weight up top will be a mistake for him. 220, 225 is probably 225 is probably the heaviest Wilder should ever go. So like I said, man, this should be a good fight.